What's up, y'all? Julius Randle, man. He won the Most Improved Player award this year for his production in the regular season, and he really reinvented himself this year. He started to pass more, defend better, and he even improved his three-point percentage by over 14%, which is honestly just crazy. And he's definitely no superstar, but Randle is still relatively young at only 26 years old, so it's not like he's some 30-year-old one-season wonder veteran. He and the Knicks really got a lot of hype this year after they blew past their expectations and really just surprised everyone by securing the 4th seed and made the playoffs for the first time since 2013, back when Carmelo Anthony was still a New York Knick. And I just want to preface this video by saying that I'm a Knicks fan myself, and this series still doesn't take away just how good the Knicks season was and the amount of heads that it turned and the expectations that they blew by. But the way the season ended makes it feel like a bit of a letdown, and it was really underwhelming. Like, at least push the series to 7 games. But during the playoffs was when Julius Randle really started to have a meltdown and reveal who he really was. If you like analysis videos on basketball, then subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell as well. I'm going to be uploading at least 3 times a week. And I understand that it was Randle's first postseason, so I really can't fault him for playing badly. But I still expected way more production coming from him, and this led many people on social media to think that Randle was a fraud because he didn't ever have an average game in the series against the Hawks, let alone a good one. The second the playoffs started, Randle really just reverted back to his old self from last season, and the most points that Randle ever scored during the series was 23 points, and that was during the last 2 games of the series. And it was still on terrible efficiency. In fact, Randle shot poorly in every single game. He didn't have one game where he was shooting over 40% from the field, which is just atrocious. Like, come on. Randle, you're the best player on the team. You can't be shooting under 30% from the field for the entire series. We really needed more from you and for you to step it up. Like, even if Randle played average, we still would have won the series, I think. First game, Randle shot 15 points on 6 for 23 shooting. Second game, 15 points again on 5 for 16 shooting. Third game, 14 points on 2 for 15 shooting. He only made in 2 shots that game. And the fourth game, 23 points on 7 for 19 shooting. And the last game of the series, 23 points on 8 for 21 shooting. Randle really needed to put up at least 30 points a game like he was in the regular season matchup for us to win this series. But sadly, Randle just never lived up to it. And plus, when you have a 40-year-old Derrick Rose outplaying you, it's kinda hard to defend Randle. In fact, Derrick Rose was the best postseason player on the Knicks, which is kinda telling of just how unprepared the Knicks really were. And Randle did have DeAndre Hunter guarding him all series long, who is a great defender, but I still don't think that should really be an excuse. Elite offensive players know how to get themselves into a rhythm regardless of who's defending him, and I guess Randle just isn't one of those elite offensive players. During the entire series, he just looked really scared at times, like he didn't truly believe in himself. Kind of like an imposter syndrome type situation, where you really just start to question yourself and your ability. And in Randle's case, he questioned his ability to score the basketball. There were even times when Julius Randle was being guarded by Trae Young. Trae Young out of all the people on the Hawks. Like, this is the perfect mismatch for Randle to exploit. But he was still scared to attack the basket even when Trae Young was guarding him. Like, I think that just tells the whole story of the series. Randle was just too scared to do anything. Something must have gotten inside his head. I don't know if it was the pressure, like the playoff pressure, or some shit talking that the Hawks did, but people really expected Julius Randle to step up and solidify himself as one of the Knicks' leaders and future foundation, but he was unable to do that. And this really just brings up the question if Randle still deserves a max contract. During the regular season, I would have had no doubt in my mind that Randle would secure himself a max contract, but after what he showed everyone, or should I say didn't show everyone in the playoffs, I'm starting to think that the Knicks are going to be more reluctant to give him a max, or at least have more leverage when it comes to contract talks, because they're always going to be able to hang this playoff series over his head. If the Knicks make the playoffs next year and Randle shits the bed once again, I'm certain that Randle will not be getting a max. Right now, it's just too small of a sample size to really determine if Randle is worth a max contract or not. And this playoff series really highlighted the problem that the Knicks have been struggling with for years now, and that is their need for a good playmaker as well as a better offensive system. The Knicks were one of the worst offensive teams, and their defense really carried them throughout the regular season. The Knicks offense really just consists of Julius Randle, who is very much new to all this, being a focal point of the offense, bullying his way into the lane and drawing a double team, or just giving the ball to Derrick Rose, who is not getting any younger by the way, trying to penetrate this basket and score. RJ Barrett doesn't get a lot of opportunities to show off what he can do, because I do think that he's a really underrated playmaker, but Tom Thibodeau really doesn't write up any plays for him, or I don't think he even writes up any good offensive plays at all. And because of that, RJ really only makes 1 or 2 plays a game, and the rest of the game, he's just standing there in the corner. They also need more shooters, which is kind of a crazy statement, because when you consider that they had players who shot really well in the regular season, like Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, and Emmanuel Quickley, but they all shot really badly from 3 during the postseason. I personally think that they should have exploited Trae Young more and just really chew him out on defense by exposing his flaws, but I never really saw that happening for some reason. But regardless, big props on Julius Randle and the Knicks for having an amazing season when you put everything into perspective, because no one expected the Knicks to be this good this fast, right? I think everyone expected the Knicks to be one of the worst teams in the league, but they really were not even that bad. They were the the fourth best team in the East. And I'm actually excited to see what they do in the offseason and how they play next season as well, especially if they make the playoffs again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think that Julius Randle was a fraud? Like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. And thank you all for watching. Peace out.